Hey, good morning. Kevin, Nikki, Dan, Maurizio, John, Arturo, Valerie, Craig, Rongamer, Cliff, Donald. Good morning, everybody. Doesn't look like the boss is with us this morning. She was she was sleeping in. We went to a friend's 50th birthday party last night. It was a little wild, I guess you'd say, for a Sunday night on a school night. Anyway, morning, Larry. Morning, Chris. If you want to chat with me like these fine folks saying good morning on the live stream, all you got to do, click the button right down here, the little green overlay. Be a subscriber to the channel, and that's all you got to do. And it enables the live stream chat, and you can say good morning and ask me questions and whatever else you might want to do, and maybe lament me for being wrong. I mean, golly, how in the world did I get it so wrong that we were going to go down to 4,300 area? And I mean, Friday, we only made it to 4,320. Jeez. I mean, ouch. Missed it by 20 points so far. And, you know, when we make lower lows on Friday, I was kind of warning about this Friday. We make lower lows on Friday, the lowest low in, a week, a month, 2 months. Well, we tend to get continuation lower the next Monday. Right now, ES futures down, 15, 16, maybe 20-ish. We'll see what it actually opens at, and that's going to be lower low. I mean, hey, I may never get another thing right again, but I was on top of this. If you were paying attention, if you've been here, if you've been coming back, I try to do my best to give you the truth as I see it. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation here intended to be informational, educational, and fun. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument, no stocks, no options, no futures, no nothing, or any products from any gurus, myself included. I don't recommend you buy them. You can come here for free, and once you build some trust in what I do, then maybe you can support me further. And if you desire personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor. Has a fiduciary duty to take care of you. All right. So with that out of the way, I mean, let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. Look at where we're at. We are right there. I mean, gosh, all the way back in July, right at the end of July, I was like, going back to the roadmap line, looks highly likely. Right here we are. And this is the chart I've been sharing. This one right here. We're right there. Now this purple line that I've added recently, it's kind of a new addition. You know what that is? That's an echo of the move from September of 2021. And you know what? If we go back and look down here, guess what happened in September of 2020? So that's 2020, 2021, 2022, and now 2023, all September down. Now, it didn't, I tried to go back to 2019. September wasn't, it was just kind of choppy. So, but in the 2020s, this is held true for 4 years now. 2020, 2021, 2022, now 2023. And they're all kind of similar size, amazingly enough. It's pretty wicked if you think about it. I mean, interesting stuff. Patterns in the market, echoes throughout the market. And I'm kind of expecting us to hold this 4,300 area, wrap this baby up. We get this lower low today. That can be the end. Now, we could continue to flush it on out. We've got other news coming up this week. We've got, let's roll down to the current week here. We've got consumer confidence tomorrow with some new home sales. We've got not much on Wednesday. On Thursday, we got final GDP, unemployment claims. We got Fed Chair Powell speaking at 4 p.m. right after the market closes. And Friday, again, some PCE. Powell's favorite number right there. And then we've got revised consumer sentiment. We keep getting these consumer sentiments, seems like every week lately. So that'll wrap up this week. And wraps up the quarter. So Saturday, that's the end. So Friday, last day of the quarter to make any trades and adjustments before we head into Q4. Now, with Q4, earnings season starts picking up pretty quickly. We'll ramp up. Most of the, I'd say it's something like 85 or 90% of the S&P 500 companies, if not 100%, will be in blackout by the end of this week, which means they can't do buybacks, and insiders with any kind of knowledge can't do any trades, can't make any share purchases or sales. And so that kind of mutes the market a little bit, not a lot of it, but a little bit. And so we may see a little muted action until those earnings actually start ramping up. All right. There we go. That's kind of the outlook as we move forward into this week and then the new quarter kicking off October next week. Earnings. I mean, I hope this gets a little more spicy. Everything's been kind of boring the last few days. Maybe it's just because it did exactly what I expected it to do. But there we go. There we go. Right there. I was kind of speculating for Beth that we may see this kind of ramp out of here. If you notice, that's exactly what we did right here on this retrace. That same sort of move. That's kind of how the market reverses. And I think that we may see something like that coming out of whatever low we strike here in the next day or two. And can it continue tomorrow? Sure. It can continue tomorrow. Can it continue Wednesday? Yeah. Could it continue all week? Yeah. We could go down to lower lows. We could go down to 42.37, get the 1272 extension. Could go all the way down to the 1618 extension. But this starts mucking up the pattern here if we go that low. I really want to see this thing hold above this level right here, because that keeps the bullish move intact. If we start dipping below that, then it starts mucking up the bigger bullish pattern. So, could it do it? Sure, it can muck it up. It can mess it up. It can do whatever it wants to do. I mean, I'm just the guide here. Right now, expecting this to hold, there's a whole lot of confluence. We have the echoes of prior moves. We've got the echo of the first move down. We've got the 100%, extension. We've got the roadmap line. We've got a lot of confluence right there for support. We may find support right around that 4,300 area. Plus, JT has been saying 4,300 for, gosh, how many weeks? Almost 2 months. And here we are. Now, what does it do next? We got to wait. Got to wait for the reversal to show up. If we reverse higher, we're probably going to go test the all-time high. If we break on through those lower levels of support. So, hey, Arthur, doing good this morning. Had a great weekend. I feel like got my mother-in-law's truck working. Y'all remember Kim's dad passed away earlier in the year. He left behind a truck that he kind of self-disabled it, driving it in less than clear mental conditions, and we've got it fixed back up and back on the road. So that was a win this weekend. So right there, dipping. I mean, look, we pretty much touched it this morning. The ES right there. Look right there. That's touching from in my book. We could go just a little lower, but we're there. This is it. This is the thing we've been waiting for, or I've been waiting for. So ES pretty much touching the roadmap line. Beautiful. Then we have NQ, which has a little bit more to go. Could we see more flush? We could. Very well could. Now, one of the ones I've been waiting for, this one. Way back when we did this initial dip, I was like, we came up a little shy. I expected Apple and Microsoft to both hit the roadmap line. Apple did it pretty quick. Right there. Came back, double touch, and a three touch. And looks like we're going to push a little deeper today. While Microsoft came up short. I kind of expected us to continue this retrace until Microsoft fully touched. Now, if it does like an echo of this first move down, that could take us all the way down to 288 on Microsoft, but I'm kind of thinking that we probably hold this 310 area if it can dip into there. So we're pretty darn close. That's almost close enough to be a touch in my book as far as it goes. When we look back in the history of Microsoft, it'll come in the vicinity without touching a lot of times. Yeah, that one pretty close. So there you go. Come up just a little shy a lot of times. So we may be just a little shy this time. Just something to keep an eye on, though. Right there on Microsoft. We touch that, then we've kind of got the all clear to potentially go higher. Russell looks like it's going to fill out that head and shoulders pattern. Right there. Doesn't have super far to go. That's going to be a big gap down at the open on IWM. And if you're in my day trade group, I don't know. We may or may not see the opportunity today. It looks like it wants to finish this pattern up. 1758 would do that. Well, 1760, I guess. Right in that neighborhood. You might be like, what head and shoulders are you talking about? It was right here on the chart. I kind of tracked it for a week or so before it actually filled on out. Then we broke below the neckline. I was like, we're likely to go on down. And it's taken us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days so far. Could take another couple days. We wrap that up. That can be the bottom. Could it go lower? Sure. And that target was the target I had on there for a while. So I don't know. I guess I get lucky sometimes on these things. Sometimes I do. But that's why you guys are here, right? That's why you guys are here. All right. CL. We could see another little pop. But I'm thinking we get a bigger, deeper retrace after we tag this resistance up here. I'm kind of neutral right now. Not really bullish, not really bearish. Very little left on the upside. Bigger risk to the downside. Could we break on out? Yeah, I would want to wait for it to prove it. Want to wait for it. Make sure it just doesn't spike up and reverse. Nothing clear on oil right at the moment. So if you're long oil, be careful. I think a retrace is probably highly likely at this point. It's one of those, oil can get a big, deep retrace, and it can go in a few days. All right, we can just go on a tear. You've seen it over and over here. 2, 3, 4 days can take us right back down here in the 80s. Be careful. I mean, Cushing storage almost empty. The U.S.'s output is kind of diminishing. It's kind of low. We've had for 4 years, 5 years now, we've had reduced investment in oil, and we have an administration that's not helping matters in that front. We've drained our strategic petroleum reserve, which is bullish. So there's a lot of reasons that this could go higher, but when everybody sees all those things, everybody tips their mind that and says, you know, I'm getting bullish. That means the market is efficient and can rip everybody and take. You know, I mean, the market is very efficient at taking the most amount of money from the most number of people in a very quick way. So if everybody's bullish on oil, watch out for the rip. That's all I can say. I mean, that's really like what I have to say about that. Why aren't we fracking? Because they canceled a bunch of permits and stuff. And it takes time to. Plus, a lot of times you have to borrow money to set up a fracking project. And guess what? Money got expensive. Money got expensive for the first time in a lot of years. Now, one other thing I brought today to talk about, money being expensive. Look at this right here. I showed this chart back in January. So this was from January. This is not current right now. this lines up the 1968 through 1980 move, or 67, I should say, 1967 through 1980 move in inflation with the current inflation through January. We're now sitting kind of right over here. I'll show that more here in just a moment. Now, this was that was back when we had 7.7 CPI, Consumer Price Index, kind of the measure of inflation, and we're kind of in the all clear. All the mainstream media, all the government. Oh, we're all clear. But you know what? Our interest rates are still high, and nothing's gotten cheaper. We're still creeping up. We're still ramping. Now, if you go and look at this, we're indexed to 100. So if you said this was 0 at the bottom, we're going to go up to 150. Right now, we're sitting at like 19. All right. Now, you might be like, what are you talking about? Well, look right here. Consumer price. This is lined up on May 2020, right here at 100. And we've gone up to 119.7. That's 19.7 points higher. This is Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers, all items, not excluding anything like the government does, not cooking any numbers. This is the all-inclusive inflation number. That sucker taken off. Now, if we repeat, echoes in the market, right? If we repeat the cycle that we had back here, we're talking about 150, right? Take 100, minus off that, 150. We're at 20 now. So things could get a lot more expensive over the coming weeks. All right. A lot more expensive. Weeks, months, years. We're looking at, this is months on the bottom, 155 months. That's going to take us out to about 2032. You think things have gotten expensive now? We could see things get a lot more expensive. We're talking about like 6-7 times more than what we've seen so far. All right, I'll throw that out there, and it's on my mind. Like this is definitely on my mind here. So that end of the second act would be right here around 2026. Kind of expecting a pullback in the markets in 2026. So this could all correspond, and we start seeing rates raise more, and we may not see rates ease up for a long, long time. So just keep it in mind. Now, another way to look at this right here. Inflation adjusted homes, right? We've already passed the peak, but can we make bigger peaks? And look back here. And this used to be where we were. We're talking about in the 60 to 80 area, right there. Now look at where we are. Bigger, huger, more huge swings. We're already past the housing bubble kind of peak here. Do we come back, or do we push it even higher? The market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. So, but if inflation starts rocking, that pulls this down quickly. So the two things that can happen here: home prices can come down, or inflation can rise. So there you go. That's home prices could kind of stay stagnant, but home prices are part of inflation. So be careful out there, especially if you're trying to buy a new home. All right, what's actually moving today? Yep, look at that. Got my alert. Roadmap line vicinity, SPX. Dun, 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 dun. We're there. We're there. That qualifies as a hit. Thank you. Drop the mic. All right. And we have S5FI. Going to continue to hang out down here. This was Friday's. Had a hammer. We tried to jump up. We don't spend a long time with stocks with 20% of S&P 500 stocks above their 50-day moving average. We don't hang out down here long before we start reversing. So the clock's kind of ticking. I don't expect us to last longer than 2 weeks down here before we get a retrace that pops us back up. All right. Gold still being goofy, still filling out the triangle, still doing nothing. Bitcoin back to the box. Not awesome. See if we close the day in the box. if we can jump back out, that's a potential measured bounce setup. If we continue lower, probably heading down here. Ethereum needed one more flush out, and we may get that. Dollar continuing the trudge right up to this 108 area. And could we get there fast? Yeah. Could we get there slow? Yeah. I mean, probably that's the high likelihood area where we're heading on the dollar. Now, some stuff that was actually getting talked about. The morning movers list was thin. I had to go beating the bushes on some alternate sources to find some stuff getting talked about. This was on the majority of these were off of stock twits this morning that were actually just being talked about. NIO getting slammed down, and if we look at my pattern, I kind of expect it to drop on down to 350. Just kind of, and we can actually, now that we've actually got the full swing in there, and 489, then possibly $2. And TLT getting talked about, making a lower low significantly. Looks like 87 might be where that one's heading. Right there. Maybe like no way. Well, yes way. Going lower. That's the high likelihood path. JOBY, right down to the roadmap line. Any doubters out there that this thing works over and over? There you go. We're down there. Where to next? We'll have to see. Can we reverse here? We could. Did these guys have a weird idea that marginal? Yeah, kind of, but that's roughly a 5-wave up. We need a 3-wave retrace. That 3-wave retrace would probably need to hold this area. Could go as low as this $5 area. We start breaking below 5. We're probably going lower low. Lower low could take us down to $1. So be careful. Know when you're wrong. It's not being wrong. It costs you money. It's staying wrong. Just keep that in mind. All right. Make sure you've got an exit plan. You know where your off ramp is. I mean, put it on a sticky note if you need to. If that's, do whatever you got to do. I use alerts on the stock charts. If that doesn't work for you, if that's not your kind of thing, make a sticky note and put it on your monitor right there. So you have to look at it every time you're looking at the screen. You're like, oh, that's where I'm wrong. And write it in red Sharpie. I mean, I'm serious about this. Like, know when you're wrong. There's another, looks like a new listing maybe. Davis Commodities. I don't know. Doesn't have a lot of history. IPOs are bearish. If this is an IPO, and not much to look at there. MSTR, ouch. Probably going to retest the bottom of this box. Just doing what Bitcoin's doing, which is drifting lower. So we get a catalyst on Bitcoin. Just not much crapping in the crypto space. And EVNX. Looks like some volatile stuff there. Probably, let's see. I don't know. That doesn't look like the most bullish move right there. Last line of we need to hold this box, but if we get down to 1029, hold that. That's okay. We get below that 1029, probably going lower. Could go down to 2. That looks pretty bad. Nike continuing the march lower. We got below the resistance and starts making it look like we may head down here to 70. I drew this on the chart a while ago. We could either hold that support, or if we broke it, watch out below. Maybe like, there's no way Nike's going to 70. Well, let's come back and look in a couple weeks. And I'll set an alert down here. Let's see if we go that low. Put it up here just a little bit. We didn't hold the box. We didn't bounce. It can stick safe, but the pattern says it's probably going down to 70. Be careful. Be careful. Remember what I just said about knowing when you're wrong. Look, there's another one. Target right there. I just get lucky over and over. That's another one. Chalk it up. Right in the vicinity. I call that a hit at this point. I think these lines, while they are drawn on the chart as solid lines, my theory goes that they're kind of fuzzy zones like this, and you get close to it and you got it. So it's always been kind of my style of trading. Usually I trade conservatively, whatever the target is. If we're coming down from the top, I'll usually put it, round up a little bit. That's a hit. That's why the zones, that's why it's a big oval, not just a right on the line. So there you go. That's the vicinity of Paramount. Can we find a support there? We could. The classic pattern would be to retrace back up to this area and then push out to the 1618, which would be down here like this. And that roadmap line, we may go visit that again. Right like this. Could come visit that, baby. On the way down. So there you go. Studios may have a deal, but is that bullish? Is it bearish? Is it, I mean, they haven't been doing crap for months. So watch out below. Microsoft, we already touched on. TQQQ was the last one being talked about. And look right there. It's down to the roadmap line. QQQ not doing that, but TQQQ did. Yeah, QQQ came up a bit short. SPY hit the roadmap line. SPX hit the roadmap line. Looks like we might turn. We can go bullish from here. This could be it. Like we could be looking at the bottom. Very well be looking at the bottom. WSM, Williams Sonoma, retail haves and have-nots. That one looks like it's doing okay. Potentially breaking out. Still stuck in the box of the big range from back here. May 2022 up to August 2022, while the market was down, Williams Sonoma had a huge rally, and we've just been in the middle ever since. Top of that range, up there around 180-ish, 175-ish. I don't expect it to do much except stay in that zone. TMV, yeah, getting the extension there, 42.67, could pop and retest the high at 45. But then we may see a retrace. How does that play with the TLT? Well, TLT goes lower, this baby going higher. We may see this go much higher. This is leveraged. Leverage doesn't always follow my pattern, so be careful on leverage. Be careful, be careful. KMX, right back to the roadmap line. Beautiful. Hit the resistance, right back to the roadmap line. Can we turn higher here, or does it push on lower? That actually looks like a beautiful place to hold. We can pop 90, 94. Doesn't have the pattern to break on through yet. So there we go. That was the supply zone on KMX. Used cars. We'll see what happens with this. I mean, this UAW thing could blow up the car industry. Firm up Tesla as a market leader in the car industry. I mean, we can see a changing landscape here where Ford, GM, Stellantis just blow themselves out, courtesy of the UAW. See what happens. I don't necessarily think they should play ball. I mean, how can you afford $136 an hour for people that build cars in a factory? I mean, sure, it'd be great if you can get paid that, but Tesla pays like $45 an hour for their line workers. I mean, the industry doesn't say, the numbers just don't support $136 an hour with wages and benefits. It's just not the way it looks. So Tesla retracing the roadmap line. I thought we'd do that. It may be time to look at loading some back up here. Have to see. Not for me yet. Right there. Yeah, Tesla margins are double. And I mean, there's a lot of legacy crap that the big three have brought along with them. So I'm just saying though, it's a changing landscape, and unions don't necessarily have their people. The union has the union as its primary focus. I mean, you're always watching out for number one, right? If you're not, there's nobody looking out for you more than you are. If you think a union is watching out for you, I got news for you. You think your financial advisor is looking out for you? I got news for you. Nobody looks out for number one like number one. So if you haven't made that mental adjustment yet, hopefully those of you that are here believe that way. But if you haven't, you need to reconsider and do some soul searching and figure it out here. So LI, probably come back to the roadmap line. That would be a nice place to hold, but we could go all the way back to the bottom, all the way back down near the bottom of the box. We held the top and reversed off. If we don't hold the roadmap line, probably going back down. If we do hold the roadmap line, we could break out 50, 55 on LI. Baba, just chopping around, broke out of the bottom of the channel. That can go down, all the way down. I'd be cautious on that one. Then PDD, that one probably heading back to the roadmap line. Baidu, probably coming back to this box. YINN, probably dropping out. The yin and the yang. And then Rio, back in this consolidation. That's lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Be careful. That can break the pattern and go lower. Right there. That's my list for today. I'm hunting for a reversal. But I have to be completely honest. We made the lower low. We satisfied the condition. That was it. The sage in the market, whatever you want to call it, where we don't find the lowest low on a Friday. There we go. It worked. Once again, 95% of the time it works. And can this be the bottom? Yeah, that could be it. We could be done. We can go higher from here. So plan your entries. Know when you're wrong. Plan your exits. Be like, if you get long now, do you have a point where you stop out if we turn and drop lower? You need to be prepared for both, all the scenarios. And there's XSP. And close the spreads. That's it. We hit the target. Had spreads going for the roadmap line. Highly likely when I jumped on them here. So we did it. That's it. Hunting for the bottom at this point. That's all I can say. I'll be in Discord the rest of the day. I'll be back on tomorrow morning. Give you another update. We've got some stuff coming up this week. Some news in the economic calendar we already touched on. And maybe we can get some moves in the market. Hopefully. Yeah. And I'll be back tomorrow night at 5 p.m. So this is another reason to be subscribed. 5 p.m. I do a request show for at least 30 minutes. Take your tickers, your requests for at least 30 minutes. Go through them all. Stay till I'm done. Usually it's been going an hour plus lately. So you may want to make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell with the doodads so you know when I go live. And I'll see you. Yeah, PDD reminds you to hit the like and share because that just helps me. Share with somebody that might like this kind of content. That's super helpful. Get more subscribers, the more the more you guys financially support me, the more I can do this, and the better information hopefully I get. Maybe I can get a sidekick that can actually watch more charts than I can, and we'll see. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. We'll see you in Discord. Bye.